Hi everyone, this is the Me Vision Academy interview. On our journey across South Africa, we talk to ordinary South Africans about their journey to best self-confidence. I'm with Martin de Lange. Hi Martin.
Hi.
Martin sold us our Fortuna. Okay, is that how you say it, Fortuna or
Yes.
Fortuna?
Well, whatever goes on the tongue, the best for yourself. Some people say Fortuna,
Yeah.
others say Fortuna.
Yeah, my wife insists I say Fortuna. As you know, our Land Rover broke down and we have to move on with the journey. So Martin sold the Fortuna to us. He's had an incredible life journey from success in financial institutions, Martin, then coming to the Lowveld, eventually being one of the co-owners of the Land Rover here, and leaving there lots of business ventures, property development, all sorts of fascinating things that he's done in his journey, on his journey. But now he's in a business with his two sons. They've adapted after COVID. They sell vehicles here very effectively. I can tell you, oh my goodness, he's gone over and or beyond. What's the word? Over and beyond, above and beyond with their service to us. But Martin, you've had a fascinating journey. You're a family man. Just tell us about your journey to best self. Do you agree that's the purpose of life, is to try and discover your best self throughout your journey?
Absolutely. I think in essence, it started with a dream. First of all, you have to have a dream to be able to work towards something. Whether that dream would be to work with animals, whether that dream would be to work with people, or whether that dream would be to go farming, whatever it might be, there's such a huge spectrum. But it starts with a dream, and then you have to have a passion for what you are doing. You know, we came from a life where most of our parents, or a lot of our parents, guided us in terms of where we had to go in life.
Yeah.
In terms of going for college education, university education, or become an artisan, or what it might be. But I only really got to a successful situation when
No problem.
I decided to follow my passion. And my passion was cars, vehicles, engines, things that make a noise. And therefore, I had to take a very, very long circle journey to get to where I wanted to be. And I wanted to be in the motor industry, in the marketing, selling and advertising of vehicles. So when I had the opportunity to leave the financial institutions due or by default, because our company got bought over by another bigger company, I made the choice to follow my passion. After speaking to a pastor of mine, and he asked me, what is your passion? And when I told him what my passion was, he said, well, go for it. Go and follow your passion.
Yeah.
So I had a dream, and that dream was to eventually land up in a family business. A family business, a business that I could start up and put in place for my sons to one day follow in my footsteps.
Yeah.
So that was the dream, and it also became a prayer, and it also became a belief. And I kept on calling what I saw. I saw the end result.
Yeah.
I was nowhere there. My children were still at school. But I had the end result in mind. So I just connected my dream with my prayer and what I wanted to have in life in terms of that. And we eventually ended up in starting our own business.
The business was big. You had several showrooms.
We had 3 showroom floors in and around Nelspruit. Approximately 80 units, 80 cars in stock. So we had a huge business, one of the bigger ones in Nelspruit at the time. However, we also realized that you had to be able to adapt to your challenges.
Yeah.
And the challenges having been a huge organization buying and selling cars in South Africa. I don't want to name them, but all the people will know them. They're all over the television and all over the internet. So they came and made it very difficult for a smallish organization.
Local organization,
Yes, to exist in the old model, old business model.
Yes.
And my sons and I had a meeting, and we decided that we had to adapt. So we had to adapt to stay alive.
Yeah.
Either close down, walk away and start something else, or adapt and look at a new business model, and which is what we did. So we closed all our floors, sold 70% of our stock, and we did not replace them at the time for the very reason that we knew that we had to become mean and lean. So today, as we speak, we work, our offices are at my son's house in his double garage, only the three of us and one driver, where before we used to be 15 people running around trying to make a living. And the three of us, it's quite fun actually, because I'm back to washing a car myself. And I haven't washed a car in many years.
And that was the dream. The dream was family?
The dream was family, and in business and in cars, in vehicles.
Fantastic.
So that's where we are today, and we are provided for by the good Father in the way that He deems it fit.
Yeah.
We are not wanting for anything. There's no lack, but we've stuck to the dream.
Okay, Martin, what did you learn from setbacks? I mean, if you had one big setback, you can share it with us, but even if you don't, just...
We've had many setbacks. Setbacks in terms of just, living life. Now, setbacks I see as part of life. And the setback is not the issue. The issue is how do you recoup from that setback.
Yeah.
That setback must never ever break you. In other words, never ever give up. Stick to your dream, stick to your strategies, or adapt to new strategies, work around a new business plan, and do the best you can every single day. And because setbacks never stay.
Yeah.
So bad times don't stay, they go away. Like good times don't stay, they also go away. However, I've got a saying that says, "Wen of verloor, jy bly voor." So,
win or lose, you remain
you
ahead.
remain ahead, you remain a winner. My dad taught me once, he wrote in my diary when I was down in the financial industries actually, and he wrote in my diary, and I didn't even notice it only a week after when they went back to Joburg. I had to go to that page and saw what he wrote there, and he said then, and I see it often in publications these days, winners never quit, because quitters never win. So never give up. Never give up on your dream, and never give up on the process, and just keep going at it. Because also Gary Player has a very well-known saying, when people say, "Oh, but you are so lucky," he said, "Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
But the more I practice, the luckier I get."
Lucky I get. Martin, last question. I've mentioned to you the purpose of Me Vision Academy.
Yes.
To actually assist people with best self-confidence
Yes.
early in their career, all the way through to wherever they end up achieving their dreams. Do you think there's a place for it? Do you think our young people leaving varsity college and so on, who then go on their journeys through life to discover their best self and their true self in this difficult world we find ourselves in? I mean, do you think there's a place for something like that?
I do really think so, because I see it in our younger generation today, the biggest challenge is discipline. They are not taught discipline. In other words, never in my life, and it's also a lesson my dad taught me once when I was still a young student at Wits, studying with a bursary, mechanical engineering, and I had to do my practical parts at the company that gave me the bursary. And I was complaining about overtime. They wanted me to work overtime but didn't get paid. And my dad called me over and said, "Listen, you must understand one thing about life. If you are going to expect everything to come your way, you're going to get nowhere. Don't you concern yourself about overtime today. Do what you have to do and show the discipline. Overtime will come in its own time." And he did. So I feel that people today, young people today, should get their discipline in order. One of my big dreams was to become a private pilot. And at school, I had an impairment in terms of my sight. I lost my one eye, the sight of my one eye, when I was a very young child, 5, 6 years old, and I had to grow up with it. And then at the time, you couldn't get a driver's license with the use of one eye. When I arrived in the Lowveld, I never left I never let go of that dream. And then they changed the laws. The medical requirements became a bit more lenient, and I could actually get my private pilot's license with one eye, which I did. And it was so wonderful because I can gauge depth and three-dimensional visions like anybody else with two eyes. Yet I've only got one eye. I can land an aircraft like any guy with two eyes.
Yeah.
Now, in the aviation industry, you need discipline. In other words, if you hand in a flight plan, you're flying from Nelspruit to Germany, no matter what the weather is on the way, you follow your flight plan. On the GPS, you would set your target airfield, for instance, Wonderboom outside of Pretoria, and you'll have a bearing, which is where you want to go, but you'll have a track. The track is where the aircraft is actually moving.
Yeah.
So never ever lose your bearing, no matter where the wind takes you, because the wind can blow you off that track. So the bearing must remain your end result.
Yeah.
Where do I want to get? And you have to fly that aircraft, change it, turn back to the GPS line that shows you, and you must keep your height, and you must keep flying that airplane until you get to the airport where you were supposed to go.
Yeah.
Whether there are clouds, whether there are rain, whether there are whatever on the way, the bearing must never ever change. Your dream must never change. Your end result must be in your vision. And you must do whatever you have to do to get to that end point, because then you can land the aircraft safely.
Wonderful analogy. And that is what New Vision Academy will do. It'll help youngsters with their dreams, give them all the confidence they need, the qualifications, the guidance.
Absolutely.
Martin de Lange, thank you so much. I mean, some inspirational words. We wish you well with your business here in the Nelspruit area, in Bombela.
Thank you.
And your words of wisdom are fantastic. And all the best with your sons and your
Thank you
family's
very
journey to their best self-confidence.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye. This is here in the Wimpy. Now we're going to have our tea and our, what is that, a cappuccino?
Yep.
Enjoy.